Hello and welcome to Season 2 of Teacher Talk, the podcast for teachers who are lifers but still want to have a life. I'm Jared, and as always, I'm joined by my partner, Johanna. Hey, Johanna.
Hi, Jared.
What are we going to talk about today?
We are going to talk about the best incentive system I've ever seen.
As teased several times on previous episodes.
That is correct.
Something to do with bridges?
Yes, but it is not what you think. It's not at all what you think, so you need to keep listening.
I don't think anything yet.
Well, but teachers, I know when I hear bridge building, I'm like, oh yeah, I got that. No, this is totally different. And I experienced...
Well, it's not totally different.
The incentive part of it is completely different. Yes. How the incentive is created and used is totally different.
But I'm going to jump to conclusions and say it involves building a bridge out of like classroom or shop materials and then hanging weights from it and see whose bridge can hold the most.
You need to jump to conclusions, Matt.
But that's basically it, right?
Yes.
But that's not the incentive.
But no, that's not the incentive.
But it is that.
It is that.
All right, so how do we get that to be the most perfect incentive?
Okay, so spoiler alert, I
already did that.
I have not done this as a teacher. I have only experienced this as a student.
If it's so good, why don't you use it in your 70 years of however long it's been? Why haven't you used it?
Because I haven't needed it.
Okay.
And the way that my classroom works, it's not necessary. But if I taught students every single day, and if I taught them for at least a semester, then this would be what I would use.
Got it.
Yes. My 5th grade teacher, I do not remember her name, / we don't disclose names other than our own on the podcast anyway, is the one who created this. So we are going, there's a chance I could be slightly wrong with some of the details, but teacher me reflected on this system and is like, she is a genius. So now I must share.
Well, let's build it up some more before we talk about what it is.
Okay. So you want to ask me questions because I'm really bad at explaining things.
I mean, what do you start with then? The goal is to build a bridge that holds weight.
Yes. However, I don't remember that part. I know that's what we did, but that's not what I remember. Hence why this is...
Okay, what's the goal then?
Okay, so we had a lumber store. And in the lumber store were items that were priced.
Why did you want those items?
Because you used them to build your bridge.
And what did the bridge do?
And you built your bridge in like a group. We were a group of 3.
And then why did you build your bridge?
Well, probably to test how much weight it held.
Okay. So the goal is to build a bridge that holds weight.
Yes.
And this is kind of a familiar project of like a science Olympiad type thing.
Odyssey of the mind.
You get a set of supplies or toothpicks and marshmallows or balsa wood and glue and whatever, and you want to make the lightest bridge that holds the most weight or whatever.
Correct.
So it is sort of like that.
Yes.
And that's the goal that the kids have in their teams. It's a team-based thing.
Okay, so it's team-based, and she made the teams. Okay, so I can remember our teams were not ability-based. They were not friendship-based. They were...
designed by her for incentive purposes?
Yes, so like we had someone in our group who maybe struggled to focus on school as a learning activity.
You?
Me?
Was that you?
At this point in the game, no.
Okay.
But I was a low learner in 5th grade. Like I was a pretty low learner. Like I know that another person in our team was both awesome at behavior and at learning. And then I was a low learner, and then we had just a struggling learner, I would say, on our team. And this is something that as a kid, I never thought about it, but like as a teacher now, I can be like, oh yeah, that's what she did.
But teacher assigns the teams to maximize the value of the exercise. It's not like just to like go play with your friends type thing.
Right. And we could have built other things. We could have built houses or towers. I only happen to remember the bridge component.
Okay.
Okay, so we could earn money.
Money.
Yes. Individually.
Like Shroot bucks or like real money?
It was like school money. So it was actual like pennies, but it was like pretend money.
Were you earning money for its real world value as a medium of exchange?
No, we were earning it to buy things from the store.
So like Shroot bucks?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Like Shroot bucks. Feel like we're limiting our audience if all we do is make office references.
I don't think we are very much.
You do get emails of people who are delighted, like tickled by your office references.
Yeah, if we only reach the small segment of the worldwide populace that's familiar with The Office, we're really fishing in shallow waters there.
We should probably look up the Friends. I think if we could do a Friends Office combo pivot, then we would really be hitting a home run.
Well, someone can let me know that whatever episode of Friends they had a fake money that they used for some internal purposes.
Send your emails to teachertalk4teachers gmail.com. Okay.
So Shroot bucks.
Yeah.
And how's that work?
So like, for example, if all of us did our homework, then we got bonus bucks.
All of the class or all of the teams?
No, our team. So it was behavior based, but it was behaviors connected to the learning. So for example, like time on task, we could earn money. Completing our homework, we could earn money. Completing whatever the learning activity was in the classroom, we could earn money. I don't remember earning money like PBIS, where you just were like sitting still and being good and you got money. It was all connected to kind of a learning task.
And is it always the team earning it, or would individuals earn it sometimes?
Individuals would earn it, and
there are things that incorporate both learning and behavior?
Yes, but not like I was sitting still, so I earned money. It was like I completed the math learning, so I earned money.
So not really behavior, but like initiative.
Yes.
Motivation.
Yes. And we had names. So we were a construction company, and we had a construction company name. And then every Friday, we got time to go to the store and spend our money, and we got time to build.
The fake store?
The fake store. The lumber yard. She called it the lumber yard.
Which is where the balsa wood and stuff is.
Yeah, we didn't have access to balsa wood. I mean, this was the 80s. I'm sure she was buying all this stuff herself. So we had access. There was always a good supply, and then there was an okay supply. So for example, it was 1 cent to buy a toothpick, and it was 10 cents to buy a popsicle stick. And then if you bought them in clusters, there was an additional discount. So we kind of knew, so we would come up with the designs or the plans, and then we knew we could factor in, we'd plan out like we need so many popsicle sticks, we need so much string, even glue, tape, everything. There was you couldn't bring anything from home. Everything had to be purchased from the lumber yard. Everything costs money. And we knew how much money we needed to make to be able to make our plan.
Okay, so you had a goal.
Yes.
Like a meta goal.
Yeah, that we made ourselves.
Yep.
And then we had the supplies, so when we were actually designing the bridge, like we traced the popsicle sticks, so we knew, like when we were building our actual bridge, we laid it down on top of the plan as we built it.
Got it.
Got it. You got it?
Yes.
So then why are you staring at me like that?
I mean, that's the game, right?
Yes.
Are there more layers?
No and yes.
Okay.
Okay. So then we were in competition, though, with the other teams.
Competition.
Yes.
And what are the terms of the competition?
For bridge building, I know it was how far a span it could cross and the amount of weight it could hold.
And what was at stake in the competition?
Bragging rights.
Pride.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then same with I want to say we did houses too, and it was something based on how many rooms or how many floors we could create. And and I don't know if we worked on multiple projects at the same time. So I only remember bridge building, but I think we maybe worked on, all of us had a thing we were building. So we earned resources as a team. And then I know when we were doing the bridge, we all kind of worked on it together, but I was in charge of the bridge. And I remember when we were building other things, someone else was in charge, but I also helped to build their thing. So I'm assuming she had different roles for us.
You were project lead on the bridge?
Yes.
Like on The Apprentice. Remember that show, The Apprentice? That was weird.
That was weird.
Probably not super important to what you're conveying now, though, exactly what the form of the project was when you were in 5th grade. It's the principle rather than remembering exactly whether you built a house or not.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Okay, fair enough.
But we got basically the description of the thing. I'm going to do a mini recap.
Okay.
And say, teacher puts the people into teams in the clever way of trying to maximize the incentives.
Yes.
You get fake money that's used in the fake supply store.
Correct.
Based upon behaviors that align not with being good boys and girls and non-binary pals, but motivation and effort and initiative, getting learning done.
Yeah, grit type things.
And
I think we got money for showing up to school too.
Okay.
I was really bad at staying at school, so I'm sure. I bet you can look at your class and anything that's a struggle in your class, that could just be a thing you could earn money for.
Yeah, but you said in the last episode not to mix incentives with behavior plans.
This is a different beast.
Why?
Because I wouldn't use it for just being good, but things like coming to school or being prepared for the day or...
But if the problem is motivation...
Yes. Yeah, so things that really the student could control, right? This isn't going to work well probably for necessarily a 1st grade classroom or a kindergarten classroom, but I could see 3rd grade and up being able to use this general idea. And then keeping it all things that the student has control over that connects to the learning, but it's okay to have it be a little broad the way that it connects to the learning.
And then they use their street bucks on a weekly basis. They have time to both plan and buy.
Yeah,
and build.
A lot of teachers will do fun Friday once a month or once a week. They'll have something. This was our fun time essentially.
Yeah. And then that becomes a competition for pride among the teams that is judged at the end of the semester year.
We must have done it maybe 3 times a year because it took a long time, and we would make very little progress from Friday to Friday. And a lot of times we would do something and then none of it would work, and then we would have to take it apart, and we were salvaging supplies. There was a whole black market with supplies. Once the store closed, and if you realized you didn't buy enough like you bought too much tape, but you didn't have enough toothpicks. Then there was like a whole barter system that was organized in between the students.
It wasn't really a black market. It was just a secondary market.
Oh, a secondary market.
Because it wasn't against the rules or anything, was it?
No, I don't think so. Maybe it was. But I learned so much from this activity. Like, it is the only thing from 5th grade I remember. I remember that I really struggled with going to school, and I would go to school because I got money for going to school. I struggled to read, and I remember this is the thing that probably transformed my ability to be successful today, was that I was like, well, like...
Because you were motivated?
Every minute I read, I earned like a penny.
Because you were motivated?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, that transitions nicely into, okay, now I kind of understand the system. Why is it so good?
Yeah, it's because we worked hard, and we worked as and we
okay, but already I'm full up on hearing how it worked for Johanna 100 years ago.
Okay.
Use your modern teacher intelligence to tell me why this works generally without being autobiographical.
Okay. When kids struggle to learn, they need something else to look at, because
the learning success is its own reward, but when you're not tasting success,
yes, or success looks horrible because you're so far behind your peers, or you just don't care about the learning. Like, you don't care. You're not curious about the learning. Then you need something else that you can tap into that makes you curious.
Okay, I like that. I wrote that down. When kids are struggling to learn, they need something else to make them want to learn?
Yes.
Got it. And so why is this a good one of those?
Because kids love real problems that they get to solve, and they love pretending out the real world on a faster pace, right?
Like a video game.
Yes, like a video game. Like, in fact, there are video games like this where you do an activity and that gets you money, and then you can go to the store and spend your money, and then that makes your character better.
Yep. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just it's very addictive.
Well, yeah, because just like learning exercise, everything in the real world is so marginal and slow. The whole appeal of video games or an incentive structure like this is to make the improvement tangible and the rewards discrete and measurable, right?
Yes. So if I were to do this in modern day times, like if I had a classroom where I wanted to do this, and there were a couple of changes that I would probably make.
Got it.
So change number 1 is that I would recommend, if you are working with 4th graders and above, creating a way for them to access a hot glue gun. And I have some tricks on the hot glue guns.
Why is a hot glue gun so important to this?
Because you'll get so much more success than with regular glue.
Got it.
And it's fun.
What else?
I should explain how to set up a hot glue gun.
That can be its own podcast. It's not...
Okay.
This is not the incorporating hot glue guns into your best incentive ever episode of the podcast.
All right. So I would have access to hot glue guns. I also would have access to, like, potentially doing anything with 3D pens. Now I'm going to have to figure out how to link something. There's good and there's bad 3D pens. I have a 3D pen that I love. I've purchased it a lot. I've had other people purchase it a lot. It's under $20. And yeah, after a couple of years, it breaks when kids routinely use it, but the expensive ones also break. And after $20 in a couple of years, you're like good to go. And then I also buy the spool 3D pen stuff, because for like $20, you get like a 10-year supply of 3D pen material. And so that way kids could custom build. Like you could give them access to buying
You can kind of fabricate.
filament,
Yeah.
and then they can fabricate, yes, the pieces that they want.
So how do you ration that with your shoot bucks?
Just make it expensive, and I would...
Like time with the pen or like the amount of
the filament itself.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
And the pins are a great one. Like if you're looking for, like parents want to know at the start of the school year, like what can they do to help you? This is something where you will get a parent who wouldn't think twice about buying a $20 3D pen for the classroom through Amazon, and you can get yourself 4 or 5 probably without doing more than asking and providing a link.
Okay.
So, and then other than that, the different size popsicle sticks work well. And then
getting
string.
awful detailed in the supply questions here.
Okay.
What if we talk more generally about just how to execute the plan?
All right. Bring the question at me.
Like, do you have a list of like in suggested supplies in their cost maybe that you could put out?
I don't. I could.
What if you did? Because I don't want to, I mean, this sounds like a good idea, but I don't want to sit down and think up a bunch of supplies and how much they should cost.
Oh, you mean like how much I should charge in my store?
Yeah.
With the kids?
And how much I reward things for stuff, just as a template that I could use to start and build off of.
Okay. All right. Gosh. I'll do that. I'll link it in the descriptions below. For real this time. A lot of times we say that and then there is no
It sounds like
no link.
It sounds like a good idea, but I'm not going to do all the work to think up every detail about how I'm going to do this.
Okay.
But if you give me here's how much they get paid and here's how much the supplies are worth as a starting point.
Okay, I will do that.
All right.
I will commit to that.
You're welcome, listeners. We did it. We did it. We got Johanna to do the work.
Yes.
Which you should modify based upon the needs in your class.
It'll be a link to a Google thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
How do you kick this off in your classroom if you say like to get the kids started on it?
I don't think that's the hard part, but I can rough it out for you.
Wouldn't you? I mean, here's what I would do.
What would you do?
As the genius teacher
Yeah.
that I am, is I give them all a little bit of money to start with and started on the Friday with the store.
Oh,
And say, okay, well, here's your goal. Here's your team. You can plan a little bit and you can buy a little bit, but to buy more after this, here's how you're going to do it.
Got it. Like give them a goal of like building a box.
Sure. Whatever the first goal is.
Okay.
And then they get a little bit of money to start out with and then they earn more later.
Yeah.
Because then you start with the fun part.
Ooh, I like that. Nice teacher work, Jared.
Right?
Yes. Start with the fun bit.
Instead of Monday morning is you're going to work hard and be good all week. And then maybe something fun will happen.
Yeah, that's good teaching, Jared.
All right, I did it. I contributed.
You did. I do remember we made the plans like outside of Fun Friday. We had like grid paper that we made the plans on.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think maybe the first day, though, you could have like an extra time to plan and then try and then say, okay, well, you're out of money now.
Yeah.
But if you want more, here's how you get it.
Got it. Yes. Anyway, if you teach a group of students and you are wondering how to keep them motivated as the winter is coming along, I think this is it. It is some work for the teacher part. But man, I think it's the winner. It's the motivation winner.
And the key is, like we said.
Yeah, you want to recap us, Jared?
We already kind of recapped.
Well, recap.
when you learn and you're successful learning things, it feels good and it can motivate you to continue.
Right.
But it's not that easy. And when people have failure or difficulty, it's hard to stay motivated because the success doesn't come.
Right. It's more tempting to do something else, like get my friend to pay attention to me or wander and pretend I'm learning without actually doing any hard work. Right.
And so the reason this works is you give discrete, tangible motivation to the behavior of accomplishing learning.
Right. And there's a lot of systems out there that do that. And then the kid turns in the money for like a trinket. But this is the kid turning in the money to then continue to learn more. Like,
right.
Everything that we're describing, like we're learning how to work in a team and learning how to have a common goal and learning how to construct and build things. Like there is tangible learning value in that over a trinket. Besides the fact is the supplies we're talking about, I mean, overall is cheaper than random trinkets.
And the kids like the real world type problem that's a faster version of a real world problem. And you're right, it's a good exercise in its own right of working together as a team and planning and having long-term thinking and rewards that are saved to an outcome. All of it, like there's good stuff in it.
Right. Like as
in addition to its direct effect as a reward.
As a teacher, I would feel a little guilt or remorse or unsureness about the kids working really hard for maybe a month to earn a movie time, and then I'm taking 90 minutes of curriculum time, and instead the kids are watching a movie. Whereas if I had the kids work hard for an entire week and earn, 60 minutes or 45 minutes to work on bridge building, like anyone from the district could come in and look at my classroom and feel like there was learning going on.
I mean, let's be honest.
Even though it was an incentive. The
skills of actually executing in these teams is probably more important than anything they're going to learn actually in your curriculum.
Well, that's true. I mean, and it's not as easy as a movie. Like you are going to have teams that are going to fight, and you're going to have to talk to them about how to allocate and share resources as a team. And
not that William Jennings Bryan isn't important, but like the ability to work in a team is probably more important than knowing about bimetallism.
I don't even know what you said.
See?
Okay.
QED. And a real quick recap on the thing is you're picking the teams. They earn money for learning behavior, effort, motivation, initiative. And there's a competition based on pride.
Attendance is not a terrible one.
Because it's motivation. It's like, do you want to be there or not?
Yes. Yeah.
And you're going to actually set up a template in the show notes, probably.
I am going to set up a template in the show notes.
Or on your website that you should make.
I know. Someone emailed about that.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Really, are we done with the recap? Because I should comment about the emails.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So, we have been getting some great emails that tell us that they are thankful for the podcast, which is awesome. But we would love some feedback about what you would like to hear in upcoming episodes.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, because this incentive is all about, feedback. Someone's like, I want more specific, concrete examples of incentives. So now we've done 3 episodes on incentives, and we got feedback about wanting to know how to manage technology in the classroom, and so we did podcasts on technology. So just saying, people, thank you for your I can't believe you haven't gotten more negative emails.
Because I'm so good. Really, the heart of the podcast, if you think about it, is my distracting pop cultural references.
People
is
like
really
you
what
a
ties
lot.
it together. Without that, why is anyone even going to show up?
Yes, probably. They like you.
My friends who listen don't as much, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the feedback I get from my friends, which is obviously a lot less because they're not teachers, for the most part, are like, just maybe shut up a little bit and let Johanna talk more. So...
Our new editor wishes that you talked less because when you talk, you take breaks in between, and taking out all those breaks so that your words flow together.
Isn't there an algorithm for that?
If there is one, I don't know it.
It's because I'm so thoughtful. Me and Obama. It's like...
Yes, you do pauses like Obama.
Don't get it twisted. Let me be clear.
Yep.
Yeah. Everyone always makes fun of Obama for like being a teleprompter guy. And
yes.
he was a much better speaker with a teleprompter, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I like to think, no, whatever your political views might be, I think that difference is explained by the difference between someone who's constantly thinking about what words he wants to say and someone who's reading a thing. You sound different.
That's true. I very rarely think about what words I want to say, and you think about your words very carefully. Words are important to you.
Thank you, Johanna.
Thank you, Jared.
Johanna, do you get questions from listeners ever?
Yes, we do.
How do those listeners send you questions?
They send us an email.
Where does that email go?
teachertalk4teachers@gmail.com.
But wait, what kind of 4? How do I do 4?
All of the 4s. They can do a number 4. They can write the word FOR, or they can do FOUR, even though that one doesn't quite make sense.
Well, perfect. teachertalk4teachers@gmail.com.
Yes.
Thank you, Johanna.
Thank you, Jared.
Teacher Talk, the podcast for teachers who are lifers but still want to have a life.